I did not see Unbreakable before I saw Split. Just putting that out there right now. To my knowledge, the only good Shyamalan movie was The Sixth Sense. I had never even heard of Unbreakable. But, yeah, it kind of ruined the ending of both movies for me. Split, I was confused. Unbreakable, I had the ending spoiled for me because of Split. It's unfortunate because they were both really good twists, and they were both really good movies. Well, Unbreakable was. Split was good. I really did enjoy Split start to finish. And I will say, with the way it was written, I was on the edge of my seat for almost the entire film. It kind of cuts back between three characters for the most part, three main characters, and all three of them were interesting to me. I have to say, James McAvoy though does make the movie. Him as Kevin Wendell Crumb was just fantastic. He took on all these different personalities, as you probably all saw from the trailers. A lot of people said the trailers looked really silly. Personally, I was not bothered by them. I actually wanted to see the movie based off the trailers I saw. I don't know if that makes me weird or makes me have bad taste, but I really did not see the problem that everyone had with it. And yeah, I was excited to see the movie, and I enjoyed the movie. I know that Shyamalan hasn't had a very good run in the past couple years. Some people like The Visit. I personally thought it was a fun movie, but kind of a dumb one at the same time. But this was the first one I really enjoyed since I saw The Sixth Sense. I saw a couple of his other in-between movies. Yes, they're bad. They're just as bad as everyone says they are, but Split was a very enjoyable film. Again, I think James McAvoy really does bring his great performance to the table, which really does make the film, but it's not the only good thing about the movie, because the two other characters are also really good and have really good performances as well. In fact, the therapist, I have to agree with Doug in his review. He says that she's given some ridiculous lines, but the actress makes them work. She makes them seem sincere, and yes, she was fantastic too. The thing with James McAvoy that just really impressed me though is even things that I thought were going to be just so cringeworthy or so hard to watch, he pulled off great. He has to play a 9-year-old for many scenes in the movie. Heck, I think the 9-year-old may be the one that you see on screen the most. There's one other that might be on more than him, but the 9-year-old definitely feels like he shared a lot of the screen with the other characters and had a lot more appearances than the other personalities did. In fact, you only see 8 of the 24 personalities. Some of them very briefly. But I was getting ready to roll my eyes, was like, oh god, this is gonna be painful, and within 20 seconds he convinced me that he was a freaking 9-year-old. Yes, this fully grown man was pulling off a 9-year-old very well. It was a very realistic and enjoyable performance. I actually believed that there was a freaking 9-year-old stuck in the body of this man. It was fantastic. He had a lot of energy, and he just really dedicated himself to this role, which you really would have to. You would really have to make a character like this work. I can't imagine a better choice for this character. He just knocked it out of the park. It was wonderful. Other side notes of this movie that I really enjoyed is just how well it was put together. I think that the cinematography of this movie was so unique and so fantastic that it's actually the reason I kind of critiqued the cinematography in Kong in my last review. I know they're two very unrelated movies, but in Kong I said it was very standard. But anyone who would have just watched that movie would say, the cinematography is fine, why are you making a nitpick over that? It really wasn't a bad thing. The cinematography in Kong was fine, but it's because of movies like Split that I feel the need to say whether or not a movie has really standard cinematography or something really unique, because Split was incredible. It was a very well shot film. Shyamalan always has these really weird camera angles he likes to do that obviously to him they mean something, but to everyone else it just kind of confuses the hell out of them. But in Split, it's even in Unbreakable, because I did watch that after Split and I really enjoyed it. Even in Unbreakable, there's these really weird shots where the camera's panning off to nothing while characters speak, and I really don't know why he does that. But in Split, there's nothing like that. In Split, I think pretty much every single shot works really well. There's these little zoom-ins. They're very minor, they're very unnoticeable, but they just add a little bit of extra tense to a scene. They add a little bit more creepiness to it. It works very well with the horror genre. The music was also fantastic. I think the score complemented the movie wonderful. I've actually listened to the soundtrack to Split a couple of times while editing after seeing the movie. That's how great it was. There's some tracks on there that just, God, I freaking loved. It's not quite as memorable as the Unbreakable soundtrack, which I've listened to actually more than the Split soundtrack ever since I saw the movie, but it's still very well done and it still fits the movie, like I said, perfectly. Now there is one issue I have with this movie, and it's kind of a big one. The two other girls who get abducted, I don't think they gave a great performance in this movie. In some of the scenes, they do seem truly horrified by what's happening, but in others, they just take it so calm. The main female lead, she does act a lot more calm in the movie, but it's because she's trying to plan everything out. She's clearly in a state of fright, but not only has she been through so much, it kind of makes a lot more sense for her to be more calm about it, but she's also trying to plan everything out. She doesn't want to act until she knows what she's doing. She's learned to live life that way. So it works a lot better for character, and I think for the most part she did a great performance. The other two, sometimes they're really afraid and sometimes it's believable, but throughout most of it, not really. They're acting way too calm for the situation they've been put in, especially in the opening scene where they get abducted. They almost have no reaction to it. I mean, sure, at first they don't realize they're being kidnapped. They think someone just got in the wrong car, but I mean, they certainly believed that for a long time. At one point, I really do think that they should have kind of, realized what was happening. And even when they get abducted and they're locked in that one room, sometimes they're freaking out, but sometimes they're being totally calm about it. It doesn't come off as intentional like it is with the main female lead. It comes off as just not a wonderful performance, and I do think there's times where they're believable, but often they're just not that great. They also have a lot of really, really corny lines I don't think fit in well with the movie. It's not good. But the other three are great. Aside from that, really, I don't really have a lot of issues with this movie. I do think his first two films, The Sixth Sense and Unbreakable, are still better movies. I think they're a lot more emotional and the writing's a lot better. But Split was a nice return for Shyamalan, and I really do hope he's able to continue up this road. He's been doing okay lately. Like, The Visit was popular among a lot of audiences. There were people who really enjoyed it. I, again, think it's kind of just a dumb, fun movie, and like, really a dumb, fun movie. I don't give the movie a lot of credit. But I did enjoy Wayward Pines, which was a show that he was a big part of, so he's been doing better lately, and yeah, Split was a good film. I'd say it's pretty close to Unbreakable and The Sixth Sense, just not quite as good. If you're watching this video despite the fact that I said there were major spoilers in it and you haven't seen either of the movies, then I would say just watch Unbreakable first so you can at least enjoy the ending of that one and not have it ruined for you by Split, because at this point Split is just going to be ruined for you. Yeah, I thought Split was a very enjoyable, well-done movie with great cinematography, great music, some really great acting, and some decent writing. I'll probably check it out again someday when it's on DVD, especially now since I've seen Unbreakable, and I'm giving Split an 8.5 out of 10.